Sometimes when you put your design together, you might realize that if you put it together with the slots going in the same direction, if you've got something different on one side, or let's say you have a design that you want to keep in the center, you may have to move that slot because you'll notice that in this example here, I've got slots in the same direction. So basically, these are two squares of the same thing. But when I put them together, you'll notice that because you have to turn them upside down in order to slot them together, you'll notice that that circle here at the bottom is at the top on the second one. So when you put them together, the design isn't symmetrical. So what I'd like to do in this video is show you how to change the slot position so that your design will be symmetrical when you put it together. So over here, I've pulled a copy of my original design, and I'm just going to modify this a little bit, or modify one of them to have the slot so that it's going the other direction. To do this, I'm going to pull a guideline first from the edge. So I'm going to click the edge here and lock it right onto the side of the upper slot, and then do the same for the other side. And now I sort of have a clear pathway of where I need to draw my lines. Now, when you do this, sometimes, especially when you're dealing with circles, you can see that the line, if I zoom in, the line doesn't want, it wants to go to where the corner of that segment meets, which is not where I want it to go. So make sure that you bring it in so that it's snapping to the green or red axis. This is important because you want to make sure that those edges are really parallel. And then I'm going to click again, and it's going to try to do the same thing. And I'm going to keep it going so that, and notice I'm not drawing over the edges. With this one, it's probably okay. I'm going to do that, but I have to make sure and check to see that everything cut properly. And then I'm going to do the same thing from the other side. Again, you really have to pay attention. And if you can't see, if you're not zoomed in, you can't see it. So make sure you can really see where you're pulling your lines from and where they're going to. And now I'm going to come straight down. And then I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to pull across the top and fill that in. And you notice that will fill in as soon as I did that. So now I'm going to delete the upper lines. Watch stuff like this. You want to make sure that you get, like, depending on how you made your design, you might have some little geometry there. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to delete these things. And sometimes if you mouse over two lines with this and place your circle right between the two, it'll delete both. And now I'm going to delete this line. So this gives me my slot. However, you'll notice that if I delete this line, because this is part of the design, right, that this would be hollow. This is just a line, and I really need to have some thickness there. So I have to take my guideline tool again, and this time pull 1/8 of an inch out the other direction to kind of put back that frame. And then that shows me that I need to draw from the corner here to there. And it's okay if it fills in. Just make sure these are straight. This doesn't have to be quite as exact as the interior part of the slot. So you do have some leeway here if you want to make it not quite as thick as the outside, but 1/8 of an inch is a good rule of thumb. Okay, and so now, sorry, I'm going to orbit us the right way here. Now I have my slot, and I can go in and I can delete these lines. And you'll see that these filled in, so I'm just going to delete those. And then I'm going to delete my guidelines. Next, I'm going to pull these up and put them together and show you how that's going to look. So now you can see that the slot on one is in the up position and the slot in the other is at the bottom. Now I'm going to put these together. I'm going to select the object and I'm going to click the move tool. I'm going to zoom into the corner, the right corner of this edge, to pull it across to the left-hand corner of the other panel. Remember, zoom in so that you can see what you're clicking on. Now I'm going to bring it across. And you don't have to do this in one move. You can do it in multiple moves, but you're going to bring it across and then let it go. And now you can see that that circle is at the bottom and the overall square is more symmetrical. Here's the one where the slot wasn't moved. And here's the example where the slot was moved. So together, if I bring them side by side, here's the difference. Here, the circle is at the bottom on one and at the top on the other. And here on the left-hand side where I modified the slot, the circle is always at the bottom and then the design at the top is the same. So that's the difference between moving the slot and not moving the slot. This one on the left, the slot was moved to the opposite direction, and the one on the right, it was not. So it's up to you on what you want to do for your own design.